right now in the diner who might have had a chance to see on the monitor that role that Seth Meyers rolled last night on some of the attack plan is Donald Trump himself. How you doing, Donald Trump?
Good morning.
I'm sure there's one poll I'm sure you're very happy with. There's an ARG poll that came out, was taken between April 1st and 4th, has you winning by 10 points over Ted Cruz. Where's that coming from?
Well, that was a great poll in South Carolina, too. I was not expected to win South Carolina. That particular poll came out and had me winning it pretty big, and I ended up winning it in a landslide. So when I heard that last night, I was happy. I've been all over Wisconsin. We're campaigning all over the place, and I'll tell you, these people are amazing people, and they want to see America be great again. You know, that's my whole theme. We're going to take our jobs back from China, from Mexico, from all these people that are, from all these countries that are taking our job, Brian. I mean, our jobs are disappearing from our country, and we can't let it continue to happen. Our companies are leaving, and they're going to other countries. We're going to stop it, and we're going to stop it fast.
All right, Mr. Trump, we had Governor Scott Walker on the show earlier. Brian was interviewing him. He sees it a little differently. Listen to what he said.
Ted Cruz has continued to win as people make it clear that it's either Ted Cruz or Donald Trump. Those are the only two left who mathematically can get the 1,237 delegate votes needed to win the nomination. I believe Ted Cruz is going to win here today because people are very well informed, as you well know, here in the state of Wisconsin. That's a big win for Ted because it's an open caucus. It's an upper Midwestern state. We're somewhere in between Iowa and Michigan in terms of the makeup of the state of Wisconsin. You're going to have nearly record turnout, some of the biggest we've had since 1980. And I believe Ted Cruz is going to win today, and that's going to be the turning point in this election.
All right, so what's your reaction?
Well, you know, I've won millions of votes more than Ted, and, you know, the votes do matter, but millions of votes. I've won many, many states more than Ted. I think I'm up to 22 or 23, and he's at like 10 or something. And I'm doing very well, and I think we're going to have a surprise tonight because I see this, and even in the diner, they're going around and they're interviewing the people, and everybody likes Trump, and I'm very happy. I love these people. But
favorite diner now.
We're doing really well. I don't know how all these people got here, but believe me, I promise I didn't do it, but they like Trump. I think we're going to have a great day. I've worked hard in Wisconsin. A friend of mine lives here. He says, you'll win the state if you come here. Well, I've really been here a lot and made a tremendous amount of speeches, and everything is sold out. And, you know, yesterday we had one where we had 5,000 people that we couldn't get into the hall. And so there's something going on, and it reminds me very much of New Hampshire, which I won, and also South Carolina, in terms of the energy. It's amazing energy.
Well, we just had Karl Rove on, and we were talking about how Wisconsin is an open primary state where Democrats can go ahead and cross party lines and vote in the Republican side. You've always done historically a couple of points better than that. Also, a brand new Q poll, Quinnipiac poll, came out this morning, Donald. I don't know if you've heard it, but do you agree with this statement? What we need is a leader who is willing to say or do anything to solve problems. About 70% of Republicans say, yeah, we need a leader who will ignore the rules. But 84% of your supporters say we need that kind of guy. Is that who you are, somebody who would ignore the rules to solve problems?
Well, look, I get through the rules. I mean, I understand how to get through. My whole life I've had to get through whether it's complex zoning in Manhattan where I got, you know, to build some of the great buildings of the world, or whatever I have to do, I get through the rules. So I don't want to say avoid the rules because that probably sounds like a little bit of illegality, but I will guarantee you we're going to get there. We're going to make America great again. We're going to have a great military. Our military is being depleted. We're going to be the strongest on the borders. You know, I just got 2 days ago, the Border Patrol, 15,500 people, 15,500 people, and they've never done it. They endorsed me for president. They've never done that before, and I didn't ask them for it. They just came out of nowhere, and they endorsed me. They're fantastic people. They're not being allowed to do their job, and they want to do their job. So we have such tremendous support and so many different people. It's been amazing, actually.
I know, Donald Trump, you always say you're about winning, but is there such thing, being that it's proportional, of a moral victory, being that you were 10 points behind a few days ago? Can you walk out of there with Cruz being on top and still feeling good?
Well, to me, I can't. I mean, you know, I'll do your show maybe tomorrow, and I'll say, look, if I lose, I lose. I wouldn't feel good about it. But I've won most of the states, and, you know, Ted goes around saying that he won here, he won there, but I've won much more than he has. I've won many, many more states than he has. He refuses to say that. You know, he just leaves that out of the equation. But, you know, more importantly, and I know it doesn't matter because it's all about delegates, but to me it matters a lot. I've had millions and millions of people voting for me, more than Cruz and more than Kasich, who frankly shouldn't even be in the race. He's now 1 in 32. He won Ohio barely over me, and if I would have spent one more day in Ohio, I would have won Ohio, but I wanted to make sure I won Florida, and I won Florida in a landslide. But Kasich is 1 for 32. So why does he stay in the race? Because Jeb was doing better than him. Marco was doing better than him. Rand Paul was doing better than him. They could have all just stayed in the race also.
Well, he did well in New Hampshire. That gave him momentum to get to Ohio. That was his plan.
I do want to ask you, Ivanka shared a sweet video of her daughter Arabella cradling your newborn grandson Theodore. How are you balancing all this? I know my dad was by my side when I delivered my little girl. How are you balancing the campaign trail and being there for her? Here's the picture. It's so sweet.
Well, it's not easy. I mean, I'd love to be with my family in one way, but it's almost like I have so many friends in Wisconsin. This has been so much fun for me, and I've been here and I stay here. And my hotel, I said, I don't want a fancy hotel. I want it to be clean, and the hotel's immaculate, so I'm very happy about it. And which doesn't surprise me coming out of Wisconsin. We've had a great period of time up here, and I think the people understand. They understand what has to be done, and they understand that their jobs are leaving, manufacturing jobs are leaving. They're going to other countries, and they know that I'm going to stop it cold. I saw Ted Cruz took an ad, and he's using my exact line on that, and he can't do it. He doesn't know where to begin. He's never employed anybody in his entire life. So I think we're going to do really well tonight in Wisconsin.
Okay, there you got a prediction.
Donald Trump not at a bed and breakfast. Who would have thought?